My very favorite thing to do. Just something I can't get enough of, that I just excel at. That's something that I'm just so effusively passionate about is auditioning. And I thought I'd share with y'all some of my very worst stories. So we'll start near the beginning, back when I was 13, and I decided that I would do all of the theater productions before I realized that I actually couldn't do all of the theater productions because I'm very bad at auditioning. This lovely thing, I don't even remember what it was for. I'm really glad I don't remember what it was for, honestly. It's fine. And my voice teacher at the time gave me all these audition tips that I think would work for most perky theater ridiculous 13-year-old girls, but I'm not perky. I'm not like other theater kids. I'm reserved, sort of. In any case, I'm not effusive like I said earlier. I was lying earlier. I but I was doing what she told me. I had my hair curled. I had like the most ridiculous shirt. It was a shirt of many colors, and it was kind of gaudy, honestly, but I was wearing it, and I prepped a song from Cinderella. It was so charming. I went in there. I was a little nervous, but I was playing it off okay. But I forgot that we had changed the ending just a little bit to make it more entertaining, like more dramatic and show-offy. And I remembered maybe halfway through the note, and I was like, maybe I should fix this. But that was a poor decision on my part, and we ended up holding out for about 3 measures, the most off-key sound you can possibly imagine. And I didn't really know what to do at that point. Like, somewhere in the back of my mind, I was aware that I could ask for a redo because that was horrible and everyone knew that was horrible. But I just sort of needed to leave. I was like, never mind. Thanks for your time. Bye. And so then I left, you know. For a very long time, that held up as my worst audition. I want to say I recently did worse. I have to remember if I recently did worse. I remembered the worst one. It's fine. So anyway, so the really bad audition. This one was for a choir. It was for a church choir. Very elite. And I just cared too much. I cared way too much. So I go in there and I thought that I could like not have nerves, but I totally had nerves. And I was like, it's fine, Jenna, it's fine, everything is fine. Oh my gosh, this is fine. But again, I'm so good at being not frightened of, I mean, it looking like I'm not scared, even though everything inside of me is just not okay. But I walk up there and I'm like, hey, how are you guys? I'm so excited to be here, whatever. And I forgot the words to the song. This is a hymn I have been singing my entire life, and I completely forgot the words. They were literally in front of me in the hymnal, and I could have read them, and I didn't. I was just singing the wrong words, and I was like, wait, what? And they're like, do you want to start over? And this time I learned. I was like, I do want to start over. Actually, that would be really great. Please let me start over. But I had thrown myself off at that point and I just wasn't doing very well at all. So unfortunately, didn't didn't make it in there. No surprise at all. Even though they said I did a really good job. Why do they say that when I obviously didn't do a really good job? Why do people say that to me? My Lanta. When I was 14, I auditioned for Les Mis in concert, and I felt like I was gonna do okay. And I felt like I didn't want to be Cosette, even though I should have auditioned for Cosette because I'm blonde and I can sing really high. But I didn't want to because what 14-year-old girl wants to be Cosette? So I auditioned for Eponine, and I did pretty well, and it was good. I was like, huh, I'm capable of singing loudly, 'cause I know what I'm doing. I mostly knew what I was doing. So that went really well. I was feeling really good, and they sort of had callbacks like at the time, and they called me back for Fontaine, and I was like, what? Whoa, crazy. But I didn't stand a chance because there was this other girl, and I love her to death, and she did a really good job, and she got the part. And yeah, that was that. But like, listen, man, stop pretending to be something you're not, okay? I think it took me like 4 more years to realize it's like, hey, Jenna, you don't have to try to belt. You can if you want, but you're a prima donna, so just don't, maybe. It's fine. The first high school show I auditioned for was Peter Pan, and they did auditions on the stage, and I knew every time you go to an audition, they'll usually tape an X on the floor where you're supposed to stand. And I knew to look for the X, and I was looking like we had gone in on groups, and there were nobody sang before me, otherwise I would have known where the X was. So I go up and I'm looking, I'm like, where is it? So I just sort of stand like maybe 4 or 5 feet from the table with the directors, and I'm like, hey guys. Because I knew that there was supposed to be an X somewhere and I couldn't find it, so I just chose a spot to stand. And they're like, go stand on the X. And I was like, oh, there it is. And so I had to move, and it made me feel very uncomfortable, and then I did poorly. Because I always do poorly. I got a part though, because it was high school and they always give you a part in high school. Ho ho. Ooh. One of the weirdest auditions. This is okay, I've done 2 professional auditions like for paid roles. I didn't get either of them. Surprise. I didn't get in the ensemble. Surprise. Because nobody wants to pay me. Nobody likes this face. It's fine. And also I did a really bad job. But anyway, the first time I did this was for a straight play, so I wasn't singing, which I have so much more experience singing. Hang on. What? But the general idea was not specifically a monologue for this audition, but to tell a story. Because it was Peter and the Starcatcher, tell a story. And I was like, I love telling stories, that's like my whole thing. It was fine, but I walked in and there were straight up more directors than I've ever seen in my life. Like, you walk in and you're gonna see at maximum 4 people at the desk. I walked in, there were so many people, there were like 9 people in there looking at me, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? Hi, Justin. What? Because I knew one of the directors, I was like, it's you. He's like, it's you. Why are you here? And I was like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm sorry, never mind. I should leave. But I didn't. I was confident. I told a story. It was fine, and they didn't like it. That was my first professional audition. My second professional audition was also fine-ish. Like, it just felt like any other audition, you go in, sing some songs. I actually did really well at that one. They didn't like it. It's fine. It's really hard to be a soprano because nobody cares. Somebody cast me. I'll sing all the high notes. It doesn't matter. I don't have to belt to feel loved. you'd think they would care. And, like, because, excuse me, but nobody cares. So, unless you are perfection, it doesn't matter. So I keep going and I keep hitting my head against the wall, but it's fine. It's fine. And I sang some songs and they said, wow, good job. Go sit. So I went and I sat, and that was another where callbacks were the same day. So I just sat, I was like checking my email just constantly. I was like, when are you posting the list? And then they finally posted the list, and I was like, oh yeah, it's not me. And then I went home, like, had some Chinese food. So this was for like a really upscale junior theater production, something that like one of those ones that they direct really, really well, but they also make you pay $100 just to be in it. But I really wanted to because I was like, I need a big name on my resume. I need a big name production company. It's fine. And I didn't get in. Surprise. Actually, listen to the story because this one is different than just I did a bad job. Because I did a good job. I was well prepared. I was chill. There was only one director, which actually kind of threw me off. I was like, I just walked in this room and there's just one man standing there. Okay, fine. But I did a really good job, and the director was just smiling the entire time. He looked so pleased to be watching me, and he was staring right at me, and I was like, fourth wall, fourth wall, please. But he just, how? Because everybody puts on their director face, when they're watching auditions. You're just like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah, it's very nice. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be in touch. We won't be in touch, but. So this guy, I don't. We have to assume that he didn't like it that much, even though maybe he did, because I did get callbacks. I couldn't go to callbacks because I had gotten my wisdom teeth out. So I was like, I can't dance, I'm on drugs. I'm gonna pass out. So then I wasn't in the show. But, like, can you imagine sitting through dozens of auditions and looking enthralled with all of them? Was he doing that? Because that's what I sort of assume he was doing, because I don't exactly have a high opinion of my audition skills. So, like, did he just sit there like, wow, for every single audition? Was he that engaged? How do you find the energy to even do that? That's insane. All this to say that I'm gonna go do that again next month, and it should be ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.